The lessons that come too late. Have you ever heard someone say, "If I'd known this sooner, my life would be different"? Well, know this. Almost everyone, at some point, thinks this. About wasted time. About choices made for approval. About loves abandoned out of fear. About dreams postponed until someday. These essential truths about time, value, purpose, peace are often learned too late, in middle age, after a loss, or when there's no turning back. But what if you could learn these lessons now, before regret? Stoicism, the practical philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus and Seneca, doesn't wait for you to fail to teach. It offers wisdom and advanced principles that prevent mistakes, protect your peace and guide your life with clarity. In this video, you'll discover 20 things people learn too late but that you can learn today. They are hard, profound, transformative lessons about what really matters. About how to live with purpose, about how to avoid reaching the end of your life and realizing you never truly began to live. If you want to live with fewer regrets and more courage, watch until the end. These lessons can change everything. 1. Time doesn't come back. The hardest lesson, and perhaps the most universal, is this: time doesn't come back. In our youth we live as if we were immortal. We postpone important decisions, postpone dreams, assume there will always be a next step, a next year, a right time. But over time, silent regret arises. Why didn't I start sooner? Why did I wait so long to express my feelings? Why did I live so much on autopilot? Stoicism warns, you don't have a short time, you live a short time. Seneca, one of the greatest masters of Stoicism, wrote in on the shortness of life. We do not have a short time, we live a short time. We waste time before we even realize it has passed. He saw youth as a time of waste, for fun, but for thoughtlessness. People, he said, treat time as infinite, while treating it as the most disposable commodity. But time is the only currency that, once spent, which is never recovered. You can recover money, you can rebuild a career, you can regain confidence, but you cannot recover a lost day, a year of inertia, a relationship that was lost by default. Stoicism does not teach anxiety about time, it teaches conscious urgency. Marcus Aurelius wrote, every morning begin what you want to do now. Do not postpone life. He knew that each day is a life in miniature and that living with purpose is not optional, it is urgent. You don't need to live in a hurry, you just need to live with intention. Choose what matters. Even when afraid, you speak. Even when hurting, start. Even when uncertain, because the worst regret isn't failing. It's never having tried, it's reaching the end and realizing you spent your life waiting for the right moment while time, silently, has slipped away. And that's why this lesson comes first. Time doesn't come back, and the only moment you can act is now. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Because today will never be today again. It will be just a memory. And what do you want it to say? That you lived, or that you just existed? 2. The approval of others is fleeting. The second lesson many learn too late is this: the approval of others doesn't last, and it's never enough. You can spend years shaping your choices to please a boss, a partner, friends, followers. You can change your voice, your plans, your values, all to hear praise, avoid criticism, feel accepted. But over time, the silent question arises: what about me? Who am I when no one is looking? Stoicism is blunt. To live to please is to live in slavery. Epictetus, born a slave, said, man is disturbed not by things, but by the opinions he holds about things. And one of the most toxic beliefs is to believe that your worth depends on the judgment of others. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, wrote in his diary, do not be governed by the clamor of others. Live every action with justice and integrity. He didn't need applause. He knew his peace came from acting with consistency, not popularity. The truth is that approval is volatile, contradictory, and ephemeral. Today you please, tomorrow the same. The person may criticize you the next day. They may not even remember you, and if your well-being depends on it, your peace will be as unstable as other people's moods. The Stoic doesn't seek applause, he seeks emotional autonomy. He acts courageously. Even when it bothers him, he tells the truth. Even when it's inconvenient, he maintains his composure. Even when silent, you can apply this today. When making an important decision, ask, is this aligned with who I want to be? Not, will this make me look good in the eyes of others? When receiving criticism, don't defend yourself. Ask, is it fair? Can I learn something? If not, let it go. When you feel the need to post, justify, or prove, breathe and remember, your validation comes from within. Because in the end, the only opinion that truly matters is yours. When you look in the mirror, know, deep down, that you acted with integrity, and that's exactly what Stoicism teaches. You don't need to be loved by every Annetto. Be strong. You just need to be true to yourself. Even when no one sees. Even when no one applauds. 3. What you control is the only place you should focus. The third lesson many learn too late after years of wasting energy on what they can't change is this: what you control is the only place you should focus your mind and energy. Stoicism, with Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, places this principle at the center of practical wisdom. distinguishing between what is under your control and what is not under your control, what people think of you, the results of your actions, the past, the future, the decisions and reactions of others, criticism, rejection, unforeseen events. These are external realities important, but beyond your direct control. You can influence them, but never dominate them. What is under your control? Your judgments and interpretations, your choices and attitudes, your efforts and actions, your response to adversity, the way you choose to live your values. This is where your true power lies. When you internalize this, something profound happens. Your mind calms. Anxiety diminishes because you stop fighting reality. Instead of worrying about what you can't change, you direct your energy toward what you can transform. Your choices and attitudes. Have you ever wasted hours, days, months worrying about what someone will think of you, about the outcome of a project, about what might go wrong tomorrow? This suffering doesn't come from the world, it comes from the illusion that you need to control it to be at peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He ruled a collapsing empire, beset by betrayals, but maintained his serenity because he knew where his power lay. This clarity is liberating. He stopped being a drifting boat, pushed by the winds of circumstance, and will become the captain of your own ship. And that's exactly what this lesson teaches. Don't get lost in what doesn't depend on you. Focus on what's yours. Act with purpose and let the rest go, because true strength isn't in controlling the world, it's in not letting the world control you. For failure is part of the path. Fourth lesson many learn too late is this: failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the path. How many people postpone dreams, avoid starting projects, or give up before even trying, for fear of making mistakes? How many lives are lived on autopilot because the risk of failure seems worse than the cost of never trying? Stoicism offers a liberating truth. Making mistakes isn't shameful, it's experience, and those who wait until they fail before acting never begin. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of an empire at war, faced profound losses, betrayals, and constant crises. Yet he wrote, "The obstacle to progress becomes the path itself." For him, every difficulty was an opportunity to practice courage, justice, and patience. Failure didn't invalidate his purpose, it tested his commitment to it. Epictetus, born a slave with a crippled leg, taught that true freedom lies not in external conditions, but in choosing one's own response. He said, "It is not things that disturb men, but their opinions about things." In other words, it is not failure that destroys you, it is believing that it defines who you are. The Stoic does not deny the pain of failure, he acknowledges it, he learns, and moves on because he knows that true strength lies not in the absence of failure, but in the courage to continue. You can apply this today. If a project is rejected, don't give up, adjust and try again. If you make a mistake, ask, "What can I learn from this?" instead of "Why am I so bad?" If you fail to fulfill a promise, don't punish yourself. Start over now. Seneca wrote, "What holds us back is not lack of time, but lack of courage to begin." And it's true, the world is not for those who never make mistakes, that it is for those who act, even when afraid, and continue, even after falling, because, in the end, the greatest failure is not falling, it is never having started. And the Stoic knows, every mistake is a stepping stone towards true triumph. 5. Peace is in the present. The fifth lesson many suffering comes not from what happens, but from how you relate to time. Suffering for the past is self-punishment. Suffering for the future is anxious imagination. Both steal the only real thing you have. This moment, Seneca wrote, "We don't have a short time. We live a short time. Time isn't short, it's wasted. Lost in distractions, in worries, in thoughts that lead nowhere." The Stoic doesn't live like this, he practices Stoic mindfulness, living in the present with purpose, not in a hurry, not with distraction, with clarity, with intention. Marcus Aurelius began his day with a question: what do I need to do today with justice, courage, and moderation? He didn't postpone life. He lived each action as if it were his last, because he knew that each moment is a miniature life. You can apply this today. When you wake up, instead of reaching for your cell phone, take a deep breath and say, "I am here, now." When a worry about the future arises, ask, "Can I act on this now?" If not, let it go. When regret arises, remember, it's over. Now is my chance to act wisely. True peace is not the absence of problems, it is the ability to be present, calmly, courageously, without running away from the present. And that's exactly what this lesson teaches. You don't need to change the world to find peace. You just need to return to the only place you can live. Here. Now. With intention. 6. Discipline is freedom. The sixth lesson many learn too late. Discipline is not a prison, it is freedom. Most people see discipline as rigid, oppressive, a limitation on freedom. But Stoicism reveals the opposite. True freedom arises from self-mastery. Those who do not control their impulses, their habits, their reactions are slaves not to rules, but to emotions, distractions, and vices. Marcus Aurelius did not rule an empire by inspiration. He ruled by routine, duty, and daily action. He knew that greatness does not come from heroic moments, but from consistently repeated choices. And that is exactly what discipline offers, the freedom to live with purpose, without being swept away by the chaos of the world. Have you ever put off something important because you didn't feel motivated? Have you ever lost focus because of a distraction? Have you ever reacted angrily and regretted it later? These are not small mistakes. These are signs of a lack of discipline and of a freedom stolen by fleeting impulses. The Stoic understands, freedom is not doing what you want, it's doing what you decide, Epictetus said. The wise man is not he who has the freedom to act, but he who chooses to act wisely, and this requires practice. Like an athlete, the Stoic strengthens his mind with daily habits, waking up early, even when tired, writing a morning intention, reviewing the day at night, resisting the temptation to scroll through your phone when you wake up. These actions are not rigidity, they are exercises in autonomy. Every time you choose the right over the easy, you regain a piece of your freedom, Seneca wrote. It is not lack of time, but lack of will that holds us back. But willpower doesn't arise out of nowhere. It is cultivated through discipline, and that's why that Stoic routine is so powerful. It turns difficult choices into natural habits and transforms you into someone who doesn't shy away from what matters, because, in the end, the greatest freedom isn't living without rules. It's living with clarity, with purpose, with the courage to choose who you want to be every day. 7. Silence is louder than noise. The seventh lesson many learn too late is this: true power rarely makes noise. In today's world, we value those who shout the loudest, those who post the most, those who constantly show themselves. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. The most enduring strength is silent. It's the man who acts courageously, even when no one sees. It's the woman who maintains her integrity, even in silence. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire in the world, but his wisdom was written in a personal diary, never to be read. He didn't need to prove anything. His peace came from acting with justice, moderation, and clarity. He won not through ostentation but through unshakable presence. Epictetus, born a slave, became one of the greatest philosophers in history not through titles or riches, but by living what he taught. He spoke little, but every word carried weight. His strength lay not in volume, but in truth. The Stoic doesn't need to prove he's strong. He acts, he follows through, he persists and lets the results speak for themselves. This is elegant indifference, not responding to every criticism, not just identify each choice. Don't defend yourself against those who don't live by your values, not out of arrogance, out of dignity. You can apply this today. When ignored, don't panic. Keep going when challenged. Breathe and move on. When making an important decision, don't announce it. Live it. Seneca said, "The wise man does not defend himself, he is unassailable." Because those who act with integrity, even in silence, don't need applause. Your conscience is your judge, and that's exactly what this lesson teaches. You don't have to be the loudest to be the strongest. You just need to be faithful. Act with courage and move forward without making noise, because in the end, what changes the world is not shouting, but the silent actions of those who never gave up. 8. True wealth is internal. The eighth lesson that many learn too late, often after years of chasing status, possessions, and recognitions. This true wealth is not in what you have, but in who you are in youth. It's easy to believe that happiness comes from external achievements, a new car, a high-ranking position, social media followers, a bigger house. But over time, the silent question arises: what now? Why do I still feel empty? Because material possessions don't fill the emptiness of the soul, and what appears to be wealth is often just slavery in disguise. Stoicism is clear. Human worth is not measured by possessions but by character. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world, but he wrote in a simple diary, "Nothing makes you richer than the serenity of the soul." He knew that inner peace is the only thing no one can take away from you. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, chose to live simply. He said, "The wise man is not he who has much, but he who needs little." For him, true abundance was not in what he accumulated, but in the freedom of not depending on what he could lose. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that true freedom is not in external conditions, but in choosing one's own response. He had no wealth, but he had something more valuable: integrity, clarity, courage, and that for him was real wealth. True wealth is waking up without anxiety, acting justly, even when no one is watching, remaining calm in the face of adversity, saying no with dignity, living at peace with who you are. You can apply this today. Instead of comparing your success with that of others, ask, am I being true to my values? When you feel the pressure to achieve more, remember, I already have the essentials: my mind, my freedom of choice, my ability to act courageously. Reduce the superfluous, live with less, breathe with more, because in the end, you will not be remembered for what you possessed, but for what you did with what you had, for who you chose to be, even when no one was looking. And this is exactly what Stoicism teaches. The greatest wealth is not what you accumulate, it is what you do not allow to steal your peace. It is the courage to live simply, with dignity, with purpose, and this wealth, no one can take from you. 9. Motivation is fickle. Action is reliable. The ninth lesson that many learn too late is this: motivation is not the path, it is the obstacle. How many times have you started something enthusiastically, a new habit, a project, a healthy routine, and when the energy faded, everything stopped? The truth is, motivation is volatile, fleeting, dependent on mood, the weather, whether the day is good or bad, and if you only act when you feel inspired, you'll spend your life putting off what really matters. Stoicism doesn't wait for motivation, it demands action. Because true transformation doesn't begin with a burst of inspiration, but with a repeated choice, even without desire. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait to feel courageous to govern. He governed, and with that, he strengthened his courage. Seneca didn't wait to feel wise to write. He wrote, and with that, he deepened his wisdom. The Stoics knew practice creates the state of mind, not the other way around. You don't need to feel ready to begin, you just need to begin, and that's how you build a purposeful life. Not with grand, sporadic gestures, but with small, daily actions, done even without motivation. You can apply this today. Don't wait to feel excited to get out of bed. Get up, don't wait to feel like studying. Open a book, don't wait for inspiration to write a sentence. The important thing is to break inertia, because it's in the first movement that momentum is born. Seneca said, "It's not a lack of time, it's a lack of courage to begin." But courage doesn't arise from feeling, it arises from action. Every time you choose to act without motivation, you strengthen your discipline. You prove to yourself that you don't need emotions to be faithful. And that's why this lesson is so powerful. It eliminates excuses. You don't need to feel good, you just need to act. With duty, with commitment, with quiet courage. Because in the end, it's not motivation that changes your life. It's the decision to start, even when nothing inside you is asking you to. And that's how you win. Not with enthusiasm, but with consistency. 10. Criticism doesn't define youth. 10th lesson many learn too late after years of carrying insults, rejections, and other people's comments as emotional burdens is this: criticism doesn't define who you are, it only reveals who delivered it. We live in a culture of constant judgment. On social media, at work, in relationships, a sharp comment, a silence interpreted as contempt, an unsolicited opinion, and suddenly your peace is shattered. But Stoicism brings a profound liberation. You are not what others say about you. You are the choice you make in response. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by betrayal and envy, wrote, "What others say about me is none of my business, it's theirs." He didn't ignore criticism, he filtered it with reason. He asked, is it fair? Is it helpful? Is it aligned with the truth? If so, he learned. If not, he set it aside. He knew that other people's opinions are a reflection of the other person, not a mirror of his worth. Epictetus taught, it is not things that disturb men, but their opinions about things. In other words, it's not criticism that hurts you, it's believing it has power over you, and that's exactly where you lose control. The Stoic doesn't react with anger, defensiveness, or suffering. He responds calmly or simply moves on, because he understands that true strength lies not in pleasing everyone, but in acting with integrity, even when they are critical. You can apply this today. When you receive unfair criticism, stop, breathe, ask, does this person live by the values I admire? If the answer is no, let it go, not out of arrogance, out of peace. If it's helpful, thank them and adjust. If it's not, let it go. Seneca said, it is unbearable to depend on the judgment of someone who doesn't even respect themselves. Think about it. Why are you handing over your emotional well-being to someone who doesn't even know your story? Because, in the end, the real power isn't the one who speaks the loudest, but the one who doesn't have to react. The Stoic knows. Your peace doesn't depend on approval, it depends on being true to yourself, and that's what makes you unshakable. 11. The body needs care, not perfection. The 11th lesson many learn too late, usually at the moment their health begins to fail, is this: the body is not an object to be molded by aesthetics, but a temple that needs constant care. In youth, it's common to neglect the body, sleeping poorly, eating poorly, abusing substances, ignoring stress, putting off exercise. We believe that health is eternal, that the body will always endure. But over time the bills arrive. Chronic pain, fatigue, anxiety, preventable illnesses, and then regret sets in. If only I had known this before. Stoicism teaches that the body is the instrument of life and, as such, deserves respect. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have a duty to your body, as you do to your mind. For him, caring for the physical was not vanity, but moral discipline. An uncared for body weakens the mind, saps energy, and limits the ability to act courageously. The Stoics didn't seek perfect bodies. They sought functional, healthy bodies, ready for duty. They exercised moderately, ate simply, and slept with discipline, not out of obsession, but out of respect for life. Seneca said, the wise man does not despise the body, but he does not enslave himself to it. He cared for his health, but he didn't live for it. He knew that balance between mind and body is the basis of true strength. You can apply this today. Prioritize sleep, even when there are more important things to do. Choose foods that nourish, not just please. Move every day not to punish, but to strengthen. Treat stress as a silent enemy, not as normality, because in the end, you don't need a perfect body. You need a present body, a body that accompanies you through challenges, through journeys, through difficult days. And this is exactly what Stoicism teaches. Taking care of your body is not narcissism, it's respect for the life you have. It's knowing that, as long as it functions, you can still act, serve, live with purpose. Because true strength begins when body and mind are aligned in the same path. 12. Simplicity brings clarity. The 12th lesson many learn too late after years of chasing more possessions, more achievements, more recognition is, this true clarity is born in simplicity, not complexity. In our youth we believe that happiness lies in accumulating more clothes, more technology, more tasks, more options, but over time, the weight of excess arises, an overwhelmed mind, anxiety about choices, the feeling that nothing is enough. This is where the revelation arises. The less you need to feel good, the freer you are. Stoicism teaches that simplicity is not poverty, it is strategic freedom. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, lived in moderation. His diary was simple, his choices intentional. He knew that the less he depended on external goods, the stronger his mind. Seneca, surrounded by riches, chose to live with few possessions. He said, "The wise man is not he who has much, but he who needs little." For him, true abundance lay not in what he possessed, but in emotional independence from what he could lose. Simplicity brings clarity because it reduces distractions and increases focus. It reduces anxiety caused by too many choices. It strengthens gratitude for what you already have. It frees up mental energy for what really matters. Acting with integrity, taking care of your mind, fulfilling your duty. You can apply this today. Eliminate tasks that don't add value. Limit your use of social media and news. Reduce impulse buying. Choose quality over quantity in clothes, relationships, decisions, because in the end, living with less isn't about giving up, it's about prioritizing, it's about choosing the essential, letting go of the superfluous. It's about understanding that peace isn't in what you achieve, but in what you can let go of without losing your serenity. And that's exactly what Stoicism values, a life of ease, purpose without noise, because it is in the silence of the essential thought the mind finds clarity, focus and strength. 13. Loyalty to oneself is the greatest sign of character. The 13th lesson that many learn too late after years of molding themselves to please, hiding who they are, betraying their values for approval is this. Loyalty to oneself is the greatest sign of character. How many times have you done something that went against your principles just to be accepted, changed your opinion to avoid conflict, silenced your truth for fear of rejection? At the time it may seem like a small concession, but over time these choices add up and you wake up wondering, who am I anyway? Stoicism doesn't negotiate with integrity. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his diary, "Without an audience, do what is right, not what is expedient." He ruled an empire, but he knew that true victory was internal, being true to his values, even when tired, even when under pressure, even when ignored. Epictetus said, "Be what you wish to appear." In other words, don't feign courage, be courageous. Don't feign honesty, practice it in silence. Don't seek admiration, seek integrity. Loyalty to yourself shows itself when no one is looking. When you keep a promise made to yourself, even when you don't have to. When you refuse a distraction, even when no one would notice. When you tell the truth, even if lying would be easier. When you keep your way, even when no one recognizes your effort. These choices, invisible to others, are what build your inner strength. They prove that you don't live to please you, live to honor who you have chosen to be. Seneca wrote, "The wise man needs no witnesses, his conscience is his judge." And that's exactly what makes you immune to judgment, independent of approval, and truly free. Because in the end, what matters isn't what the world thinks of you, it's what you know about yourself. And that's where true power lies. In the quiet corrigetto, be faithful, without fuss, without reward, without excuses. Loyalty to yourself is not arrogance, not its dignity, and it's the mark of those who succeed without needing to prove anything. 14. Patience is a weapon. The 14th lesson many learn too late after years of intense effort, high expectations, and frustration over results that didn't come as this. Patience is not passivity. It is a silent and powerful weapon. In the age of instantaneity, we want everything fast, immediate success, recognition, transformation. But Stoicism reveals an inconvenient truth: great changes take time, and true strength lies not in running, but in continuing even without seeing the outcome. Marcus Aurelius ruled a collapsing empire, faced wars, betrayals, and profound losses. He saw no immediate change, but he wrote every day, "Act justly, the rest does not matter." He knew that the real work is not to control the outcome, but to stay the course, even in the dark. Seneca said, "Nature does nothing in haste. An oak grows slowly, but becomes unshakable." You are growing too. Not at the pace of the world, but at the pace of your soul. And this growth is silent, profound, calm, and necessary. Patience is strength because it protects you from premature frustration. It allows you to learn from each mistake, avoid impulsive decisions out of impatience, and strengthen your trust in time. You can apply this today. Don't give up a habit because you don't see results yet. Don't abandon a project because recognition is delayed. Don't doubt the path just because progress is slow, because the Stoic doesn't win by explosion, wins by persistence, not by speed, but path steadily. He knew that the man who chases the result loses his way, but the man who trusts the process moves forward calmly without being shaken, and that's exactly what this lesson teaches. You don't need to see the future to be on the right path. You just have to keep going, with patience, with purpose, with the courage to trusting your own time, because patience is not weakness, it is the courage to move forward, even when the world demands haste. 15. Self-love is not selfishness. The 15th lesson many learn too late after years of sacrificing, exhausting themselves, putting everyone else before themselves is this: taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is a condition for living, loving, and serving fully. In the culture of duty, many confuse self-love with vanity, narcissism, or disloyalty to others. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. You cannot give what you do not have. Those who exhaust themselves are useless, they crumble. Those who ignore their pain do not heal, they overflow. And those who do not respect themselves cannot truly respect anyone. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, wrote every morning, reviewed his day, and practiced silence. He didn't do it for luxury, he did it out of duty, because he knew that to rule an empire justly, he needed to rule himself clearly. And that requires constant care. Stoic self-love is not narcissism, it is self-mastery with compassion. It is knowing that you are a human being, with limits, with needs, with a right to rest, to clarity, to peace. You can apply this today. Say no when you're full, without guilt. Rest, even if you don't deserve it. Protect your energy from toxic people and situations. Prioritize sleep, your mind and your body, not out of vanity, but out of responsibility. Seneca said, "The wise man does not deny himself to others, but he does not lose himself to them. He serves, but does not sacrifice himself. He loves, but does not nullify himself. He helps, but does not exhaust himself, because true altruism is not born of exhaustion, but of wholeness." You can only give peace if you have it. You can only offer strength if you cultivate it. You can only love deeply if you are not empty inside. And that is exactly what this lesson teaches. Taking care of yourself is not selfishness, it is wisdom. It is recognizing that you are a temple, not a slave. And that, as long as you remain whole, you can continue to walk, to help, to live with purpose, because no one serves the world well. A weary soul. Take care of yourself. With dignity, with courage, with love. 16. Forgiveness liberates, even when it is undeserved. The 16th lesson that many learn too late after years of carrying hurts, resentments, and unresolved pain is this: forgiving is not justifying, it is liberating. Many people confuse forgiveness with weakness, approval, or forgetfulness. But Stoicism teaches that forgiveness is an act of strength. It's releasing a burden that no longer serves, even when the other person hasn't apologized, because those who carry resentment don't punish others, they imprison themselves. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by betrayals, losses, and injustices, wrote, "What doesn't make us better shouldn't move us." He didn't ignore evil, but he chose not to let it corrupt his soul. He knew that revenge doesn't bring peace. It only perpetuates the cycle of pain. Epictetus, who lived as a slave and suffered deeply, said, "It's not things that disturb men, but their opinions about things." In other words, it's not the betrayal that destroys you, it's the decision to carry it for years, and that's exactly when you lose control. The Stoic doesn't forgive because the other deserves it. He forgives because they deserve to move on in peace. He knows that resentment is like holding a hot coal. The one who gets burned is the one who holds it. You can apply this today. Release the criticism that still hurts you. Release the broken promise you never forgot. Stop reliving the injustice in your mind as if you could change it, because the past is gone, and every time you relive the pain, you renew the suffering. But when you say, "This happened, I won't carry it anymore," you regain your freedom. Seneca wrote, "No evil is eternal except that which we harbor." And it's true. Grief doesn't disappear on its own. You have to decide to let it go. Not for them, for you, because in the end, forgiveness doesn't change what they did. It changes what you do with it. And that's exactly this is what makes it powerful. It's not weakness, it's the courage to move on. It's refusing to be held hostage by the past. The Stoic knows his peace is more important than his pain, and so he chooses to let go without rancor, without justification, with dignity. And that's how he moves on lightly, freely, forward. 17. Legacy is not what you achieved, but who you were. The 17th lesson many learn too late after a lifetime of chasing titles, status, and recognition is this: what truly remains is not your achievements, but the kind of person you were. In our youth we believe that legacy is fame, wealth, awards, names engraved on plaques. But over time we realize that what touches people most is not the position you held, but how you treated them. It's not how much you earned, but how much you helped. It wasn't what he posted, but what he did in silence. Stoicism teaches that true impact comes not from what you have, but from who you are. Marcus Aurelius didn't change the world with grandiose speeches. He changed it with daily actions governing justly, writing honestly, acting with moderation. His journal, Meditations, was only read centuries later. But his legacy, immortal, because it was built not with the spotlight, but with quiet integrity. Epictetus didn't found luxurious schools. He taught in a simple classroom, for a select few, but his words have spanned millennia, because he lived what he taught with courage, clarity, and humility. Legacy isn't what you achieve, it's what you choose to be. Even when no one sees, it's the father who educates with patience, the professional who delivers with excellence, even without recognition. The friend who listens, even when tired. You can apply this today. Treat every choice as part of your legacy. How to act with justice, even in small things. Prioritize character over appearance. Remember, no one will be remembered for being perfect, but for being faithful. Seneca wrote, "Life is not short, we live a short time." But he also knew, every day lived with purpose. Leaves a mark, even if it's invisible, even if it's silent, because time reveals what's true, and every time you choose honesty, compassion, courage, you are building something lasting. And that's how you build a real legacy, not with noise, but with presence. Not with achievements, but with character, not with applause, but with the quiet certainty that throughout your life you were, above all, a good person. 18. Pain passes, courage remains. The 18th lesson many learn till late: running from hardship, avoiding conflict, or numbing the pains is. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional, and the courage to face it with dignity is what truly transforms character. We all experience pain, loss, rejection, failure, illness. But what separates those who grow from pain from those who are broken by it is not the intensity of the suffering, but the response to it. Stoicism doesn't promise a life without pain, it promises the strength to face it without losing one's soul. Marcus Aurelius lost children, faced betrayal, and ruled a collapsing empire. Through it all, he wrote, "Pain is part of life, but need not be its master." He didn't deny suffering, he felt it deeply, but he chose not to be dominated by it. His courage wasn't an absence of fear, it was action with pain. Epictetus, born a slave with a crippled leg, taught it is not things that would disturb men, but their opinions about things. In other words, it's not pain that destroys you, it's believing it defines who you are. It's the reaction of flight, anger, self-destruction. But there is another way out, the conscious response, the choice to act justly, with moderation, with courage. Even in the dark you can apply this today. When a difficulty arises, don't panic. Ask, what can I learn from this? When pain hits, don't run away. Breathe. Say, this will pass, and I will carry on, instead of reacting with anger or despair. Choose to respond with dignity. Seneca said, "What cannot be cured must be endured with courage." And that's exactly what Stoicism values. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of character, because in the end, the pain passes, the loss remains. But what you build through its strength, wisdom, compassion, that doesn't go away, that stays. And it becomes part of your character, and that's why this lesson is so powerful. You don't have to be immune to pain to be strong, you just have to face it with quiet courage. With dignity, with the simple decision, I will not give up, because it is in the storm that the captain is revealed, and it is in pain that true courage is born. 19. The best time to change was yesterday. The second best time is now. The 19th lesson many learn till late after years of procrastination. One day, and silent regrets is this: the greatest enemy of change is not fear, lack of time or resources. It's the illusion that there will be a perfect moment. How many times have you thought, I'll start tomorrow, when I have more energy, after everything calms down, and over time realized that this moment never arrived? That later became never. Stoicism is straight, that the emperor who rules the world begins by governing himself, and that